Today is October 6th, 2021. My name is Michelle Wong. I have been protesting at the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. for the past couple of weeks. I'm protesting against police corruption, colluding with private investigators. My case is not the first case. The first case happened to a woman named Akale Taylor. If you Google her case, and you will find information of her case of police corruption, colluding with private investigators. And Akil Taylor is from the same city where I came from, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And if you reported of private investigators to the Calgary police, it's an automatic mental illness. So this happened to me and Akil Taylor, that when we went to Calgary Police to report of private investigators, the Calgary Police will frame you to have mental illness. And the reason is that the Calgary Police have connection with the private investigators. The private investigators are former Calgary police officers or have law enforcement background. The private investigators are from Alberta Association of Private Investigators, or AAPI. They have a company called Prime Private Investigators Inc. in Calgary. The private investigators is involved in my case because I left a position as an IT analyst at an oil and gas company because of an unethical or potential criminal matter. After I left the company, I noticed that I was being harassed by private investigators. But in my case, the doctors got involved to frame me. The police and doctors framed me to have delusion or driving with delusion involved in 2 car accidents with my son in the car. The fact is, my son was in school. He was not with me during the 2 car accidents. I have evidence of my son's school attendance and video recording of both car accidents, but the police concealed the evidence and forced me to go to the hospital, and so that the doctors could write false mental reports of me having mental illness. Basically, they're branding me to have mental illness. The reason the doctors got involved because Dr. Greg Nelson was my surgeon in 2012. He did a full hysterectomy and submitted false medical report that I had ovarian cancer. I did not have ovarian cancer. I had endometriosis on my right ovary only. Dr. Greg Nelson submitted false medical report so that he can do a large surgery and bill the government for more money. This is a problem in Canada because all of our health care is paid by the government, and the doctors are overtreating or doing unnecessary surgeries on patients so that they can collect more money from the government. And so the doctors found out that I knew about this case of malpractice. They set me up and used this woman and claimed to be Dr. Nancy Nixon. She is not the real Nancy Nixon. So she came and posed as Dr. Nancy Nixon during my medical appointment of consultation. And that was my first appointment with this Dr. Nancy Nixon. I knew that I was in this case of police corruption, so I used a hidden camera to capture the evidence. This woman in white jacket is not the real Nancy Nixon. She is not the real Nancy Nixon. This woman here is the real Nancy Nixon. So this is evidence of the setup. These doctors are from the same hospital where Dr. Nelson, Dr. Greg Nelson works, the same hospital called Tom Baker Cancer Center. So I took the evidence and reported my case to the Calgary police, but the Calgary police again cover up my evidence. And with the doctors, they framed me that I didn't believe in the doctors, thinking the doctors were fake. The reason the police did this because they are protecting the interests of the oil and gas company. And so I wasn't able to get any help. And knowing that these police, Calgary police, is corrupt, they have a history of corruption. So if you Google Calgary police, you will see articles of their corruption. So I moved to Ottawa, Canada, and reported my case to the RCMP, submitted my evidence of my case to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They're almost like the FBI. But they did not respond and kept silent of my case. I had no help and moved to New York City in 2019 and filed an asylum of political abuse through psychiatry with USCIS. I also reported my case to the FBI, hoping that they can help me with my case. But instead of helping, the police set me up with this fake cop. This fake cop, Lieutenant J. Cruz. This man claimed to be Lieutenant J. Cruz. He is not the real Lieutenant J. Cruz. They used the same antic like this fake doctor and set me up with this fake cop. The FBI has this evidence. I submitted this evidence to FBI officers, shield numbers 1405 and 336. They took in the case information with evidence of this fake cop. So if I made this up, if I submitted false information and deceived the FBI and the Internal Affairs, because I also reported this case of fake cop to the Internal Affairs Bureau in New York. If I submitted this false information, this is a serious crime. I could have been arrested for submitted false information to federal agents. But the fact that they didn't arrest me, they knew that they are covering up this case of fake cop. So I moved to New Jersey City during that time, and I was falsely arrested by the Jersey City police. I was tortured in jail for 4 days. During the 4 days, they denied my rights to speak to a lawyer or a judge. They threatened me that if I pursue my case of police corruption, the police will shoot me to death and make my death look like an accident or self-defense. The police also threatened me that they could get the doctor and write up a false mental report to frame me with mental illness, just like the one they did in Canada. These are the false charges, okay? These are the false charges that the Jersey City police used in order to put me in jail, torture me, and gave me a death threat. So in March 2021, the prosecutors, Linda Aristondo and Monica Cho, dismissed all charges, and Judge Cynthia Jackson expunged my case so that the court staff could erase all records to cover up the false arrests as well as the torture in jail. The court, because the judge expunged my case, the court staff deleted all the copies of my court documents and cover up the false arrest and the torture in jail. So corruption cascades to other government departments, and these are evidence of the false charges. So I went to Washington, D.C. To report about this case to the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. The FBI sent out this FBI officer and used handcuffs on me. They put this officer, FBI officer, put the handcuffs on me and said that if I continue to report of police corruption, he will put me in jail. The FBI at the headquarters also gave me a barring notice to prevent me to go to the headquarters to report of police corruption. So FBI, if you're watching this, tell me why you did this, why this officer put handcuffs on me, and why you issued this barring notice. Because I did not commit any crimes. I did not violate any laws. The only reason that the FBI did this is to prevent me from reporting of police corruption. This is not the first case the FBI cover up. The FBI cover up the case of the Olympic female athletes' sexual harassment. So now they are covering up my case. So I have been protesting for democracy and justice. The FBI cover up my case of police corruption, colluding with private investigators. Women are not easy victims. Akil Taylor was the first case. Mine is the second case. So the police use this false mental report as a tool to prevent people from reporting the truth of police corruption. So I hope that anybody who sees this will see the seriousness of the police corruption and to help me advocate for my case. The police, the FBI, the Internal Affairs Bureau, they all have my case information, all these evidence. They have copies of my driver's license. They know my name is Michelle Wong. So please help me advocate my case and stop police corruption.